We've got several pieces of key data that we've previously determined. And let me adjust the camera angle here. And we've got the mass of water lost. We calculated it to be 1.03 grams. Okay. The mass of the hydrate we calculated to be 2.75 grams. And I've got these definitions still up here on the board. Now, the other thing we need is the mass of the anhydrous, okay, the mass of this guy here. So it's going to be this mass subtracted from the water, right? So the mass of copper sulfate, what calculation am I on? 4 or 5, something like that. I don't remember. So the mass of copper sulfate, we have to calculate according to this formula, just the difference, right? So 2.75 grams, subtract 1.03 grams, right? And we get a value of 1.72 grams, okay? And we actually know that formula there, okay? Now, what we want to do is calculate moles from here. So the moles of water is just mass over molar mass. So the mass of the water we said was 1.03 grams. I don't remember exactly the 18.025 or 15. Anyways, the grams of the water cancels, all right? And we can do that on our calculator there and figure out the moles of water, okay? And I get a value of 0.05717, okay? We always need to box our answers, right? That was what was asked of us. Let's calculate the moles of copper sulfate. Okay. Now, I went to the periodic table previously, and I added up the atomic mass of copper and sulfur and 4 times the oxygens, and I got a value of 159.609. So that comes from the periodic table, and it depends on the salt that you're playing with. The grams of copper sulfate is 1.72. Okay, and once again, we divide by the molar mass. What did I say? 159.609 grams. Okay. The grams of copper sulfate cancel here, and we're going to have a final value of 0.72 divided by 159.609, 0.01078. Okay, moles of copper sulfate. Now to figure out N, we just take the ratio of the waters to the copper sulfate. So N is going to be equal to, after I round it to a whole number, this will be calculation 7, lucky 7 here. We're going to have a value of the moles of water, right, divided by the moles of copper sulfate. And I'm thinking that it will come out to be 5. Let's see what we get. We have 0.05717 divided by 0.01078. And that ratio will be the value of N, all right? So 0.05717 divided by 0.01078. And I get a value of 5.3, okay? A little high there, but what we would do with that is round it off to the nearest whole number. So N is 5, all right? So I'm showing my work there to even round it off, okay? So that means I can go back to my chemical reaction here, And if I wanted to write a balanced chemical reaction for the data I obtained in the lab today, I would write copper sulfate pentahydrate with a 5 there. And to balance this chemical equation, I would need to put a 5 right here. If I were to calculate a value of 4, as I was alluding to earlier, I would put 4 there and 4 there. Everything would be marked correct because that's what I had calculated, okay? You will be graded on a little bit on your results, so try to be very careful as I've shown you here and go through these calculations step by step, okay? So that's all the calculations that you'll need to do for this lab.